Alright, this topic has been on my mind for a while now, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. But every single weekend, there are new tools, new models, new workflows, and if I'm not sitting down, catching up on all of it, I feel like I'm falling behind. And at one point, it stopped feeling exciting and it started feeling exhausting, which is weird to say because I work in tech, but I started feeling like I'm constantly trying to keep up with all of it versus making things that I actually care about. So, over the past 6 months, I've been approaching things differently. And this is my diary navigating AI as a designer. And if we just met, hi, my name is Marissa. But I don't really know what my job title is anymore. It's somewhere between a product designer, a software designer, or a creative technologist, some may call, or a design engineer. I'm not sure, but at this point I'm not even sure if those distinctions matter anymore. Everything is kind of blending in together. Anyways, I feel like somewhere along the way software stopped feeling genuine, like somewhere between the different launches, the different models. Like, if you look back at the early internet, things felt a lot more playful. Now everything is just optimized for speed, for like shipping faster. Back in the days, people's personal websites are full with like weird interactions and just personalities. And now the AI outputs, they feel a little empty. Like they're technically correct, but it's just feel empty. But don't get me wrong, like I think AI is so powerful. I don't think I can live without it. And I feel like it just needs intention. So instead of trying to keep up, I wanted to slow things down. Over the past few months, I've been vibe coding a lot. I made a lot of things, a lot of silly things, a lot of professional things for work as well. But here are some of my favorite projects that I've done. I did a little voice note player that you have to wind in order to listen, a photo booth experiment for Valentine's Day, or an interactive red envelope I made for my grandpa during Lunar New Year. And none of these started as app ideas. So instead of starting with a feature set, I started with a different question. How do I want someone to feel when they interact with this? Maybe a little curious, maybe a little nostalgic, and then I built the interaction around that feeling. And to actually build this out, I've been using Framer for it, and this part of the video is sponsored by Framer. I've been trying to find more fun ways to blend physical and digital experiences, so I made this little NFC portfolio keychain that I'm hoping to bring to events, conferences. Instead of explaining what you do, they can just tap it and it opens your website. Basically a collection of real physical objects, and each one is a clue. Like there's a music box that links to my voice note project, and one feature I keep coming back to is this workshop component. You just prompt it like you would any AI tool, and it will generate an interactive component or any animation. But what makes it actually useful is that it pulls up a setting sidebar automatically, so you can fine-tune all the details without having to reprompt anything. This whole thing took less than 5 minutes. There are also tons of templates and resources if you don't want to start from scratch, and link to Framer is in the description. I think a big shift for me that got me out of AI fatigue wasn't how I build things, but how I look for ideas. So I started doing these small things that really helped. For example, going on font walks and looking at different typography, or doing texture hunting on random surfaces, or started scanning different things and looking at real world observations like mechanical toys, objects that have some sort of like interaction built into them. I get a lot of my inspirations from those things actually. It sounds really simple, but it really changes how I see things. Eventually, you stop looking at your screens for inspiration and you start noticing these interactions everywhere. And then those interactions become metaphors for your digital ones. For example, a little voice note player, and instead of pressing play, you have to keep winding in order to listen. But if you stop winding, it pauses. And that idea came from thinking about mechanical objects. And also how we listen to things now. A lot of the time, when a friend sends a voice note, you kind of just let it play in the background. You're half listening, half scrolling, half somewhere else. Everything today is designed for passive consumption. Things just play, autoplay, queue up, fill the silence. So I wanted to design something that does the opposite. Something that asks you to be there. It's a small interaction, but it changes the feelings completely. And AI almost never invents interactions like that on its own. So right now, there's a lot of conversations online about taste, and people often talk about it like it's a universal thing, like there's only one correct version of it. But if you think about it, if everyone had the exact same taste, every interface would look identical and every project would feel the same. So the goal isn't to have perfect taste, but to develop our own personal taste. AI is moving incredibly fast, but the part it cannot replace is the human decision of, does this feel right? So maybe the goal isn't to generate faster, but to understand and slow down. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little sit down casual talk. My name is Marissa and I share my design process and my AI workflow. So make sure to subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!